have the mindset where I'm just like, okay, if you're not gonna do it, somebody else is gonna do it better. Whatever role it is, always put your best foot forward. Whenever you're on your way to the actual audition, make sure you're good. Make sure you're like calm, like don't be so nervous, like kind of just take a breath.
What's the process that you go through when from the moment you apply to go for an audition, and the process it takes in you preparing for audition? You know, before asking this question, initially I was having it in mind to make a video on how to prepare for an audition, and just put it out there on YouTube for actors and young actors and people to see. But then I was like, no, I know someone that has done this firsthand. And I was like, no, let me just bring this person in and let's hear from him. Okay, so let's hear what's the process you go through in applying for an audition and preparing for an audition, and then, you know, just making up your mind for whether or not you get the role. What's the process like for you?
I think for me personally, I like to look at the audition. I think I was thinking about this earlier or the day before. Whenever I like go for an audition, whether it's like a small role, big role, whatever role it is, always put your best foot forward. You know, you always want to present yourself in the best manner. So for me, when I look at an audition, it has a monologue or something they want me to like read at the audition, I'm memorizing it. You know, no question. You know, if you want to be an actor, that's part of like your career. You get memorizing lines, you know. So like, even if it's an audition, even if it's a small thing, that's practice to getting it in. You know, studying the character breakdown, looking at what the story is about, how involved is your character, what the character plays, and what the character plays in involvement with the other characters. You know. Sometimes they'll provide a script, sometimes they won't, but you have to be the one to like figure out that connection, you know, and take your best interpretation of it. So I would say whenever you're on your way to the actual audition, make sure you're good. Make sure you're like calm, like don't be so nervous, like kind of just take a breath, you know, and you just want to make sure you know your lines, make sure they know your name. The smile on your face, you'll be fine. You know?
Man, the calm part. I feel like you're leaving so many things out, honestly, because the calm part, and I want you to tell us the story, because you remember when you came for the audition for the call, you told me, yeah, there was your tire went, you know, your tire got busted on the highway or something like that, and you came in and you were still composed, okay? You came in, you had your line memorized. You performed the monologue 3 times using 3 different emotional expressions. And you had your actors resuming, you know? You just came fully prepared. So even though along the line, it was a 3 hours driving, right? And you had this tire, the flat tire along the line. A lot of people would have been like, you know what, maybe God doesn't want me to do it, then just go back home.
Yeah.
You know, but you still came. But tell us this thing, please. Tell us this thing, because I feel like it's more of a mindset than you just, oh, I'm an actor, memorize your line, just go for the audition, make sure you look good, make sure you smile. I feel like it's more of a mindset.
It is.
Which might be unteachable. You just have to like get that click you spoke about. And just tell us about it, because I feel like some things involved that I want people to understand, even if they can like fully manifest it. I still want them to have this mental grasp of it.
So I guess I'm actually going to start from the day before. I remember the day before I had a lot of things to do with running errands and whatnot. And I think at some point I knew I had to like memorize the monologue for the audition the next day. It wasn't until maybe like 10, 11 p.m. or something, I finally got a chance to like, all right, I gotta memorize this, you know, even though I'm tired, I have to like take the time to memorize it. It took me like 2 hours to like memorize that whole like monologue, you know. I was up late, just like trying to like really get it down packed, you know. So yeah, next day, to give reference as well for the audience, I was living in Connecticut at the time, New York, and I lived like at the very north of Connecticut, so I had to drive like 3 hours. So yeah, I got up, got ready. I actually brought a suit to like, because that's what I imagined Sam would be wearing for the thing. So I was like, I brought that, ready to go. Driving, and I'm like memorizing my lines at the same time, like just kind of going over and over and over again, you know. And I'm like maybe like an hour out or something, boom, flat tire out of nowhere. I'm just like, wow, okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? I gotta find the closest auto shop. And I was like, let me just like call or text you guys as well to let you know that I'm still on the way, but I just want to inconvenience, you know. But I think like in my mind, I was just like, you know, I gotta get there. I gotta get there because I look at every role, again, no matter how big or small, it could really be life-changing because you never know who's involved, who's watching, anything can come of it. You know, my mindset is just like, don't stop, don't give up, you know, like do whatever it takes to get there. You know, I was willing to like leave my car there wherever I got flat tire, or a train or whatever, just to get there, you know. And like when I got there, thank God my tire got fixed. And when I got there, I made sure to like go to the bathroom, make myself look professional again, you know, like kind of like come back and calm myself so I can get in the right mindset to present myself to you.
And that still is one of the most professional, the most amazing monologue being delivered. Like, I wasn't expecting that, you know. I don't know if I told you before that I had someone in mind already. And when you came and you delivered the monologue, we had done like tons of audition before you came in. And you remember Jace was beside me. And while you were doing the first one, the second one, Jace was like pinching me on the side, was like, that's the guy. I was like, I have to maintain my professional face. I was like, it just was like, that's it, you know, because it was just exceptional. You know, you took it way serious, and the fact that you had to go through all those things and still maintain your frame, your professional frame, and still deliver your best, I still find that mind blowing. You know, I still find that, because if someone else had told me, you know what, I'm going back to Connecticut because I don't think God wants this for me, I would have understood, you know. But you were like, you know what, this is what I want. This might be a life-changing moment, and I'm just going for it. And that's the mindset that I want people to just get from this. That's one thing I want them to hold on to, if anything, that once you get that flip in your mind and you're like, you know what, I'm going for this thing, a lot of other things might happen, but it's just your focused mind that will be like, you know what, let's just keep going. Now,
one thing I wanted to speak on that real quick.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to say is, it's also for me, I have the mindset where I'm just like, okay, if you're not gonna do it, somebody else is gonna do it better. You know, if you're not gonna like give it your all, somebody's gonna give it your all on your place, you know? So I'm the type of person where like, I don't wanna be beaten. I don't wanna be outworked by somebody else, you know?
You're just naturally competitive.
Yeah, and that's the athlete in me. Like I don't want to lose. I don't like losing. You know, I don't.
Guys, take note of this moment. You remember I said something about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? The Rock is also very competitive. There was this video of him, I don't know if you've seen it before, it's a very popular video of him saying, in life, he puts his back against the wall. And once his back is up against the wall, the only thing he thinks about is no going back, it's just going forward. And then he said something about the acting career when he was with the production company, and they asked him, what does he want? He said he wants Will Smith's career. I think at that moment, Will Smith was the best actor, was the highest paid actor. And he said, I want Will Smith's career, and I want to do it bigger and better. Now, whether he's doing it bigger and better, I don't know. But I think he's doing great. He's doing amazing. I think as of last year, he was the highest paid actor. So I just want you all, audience, to keep this in mind, because we have one of the most competitive talents in the house. And do not be surprised when you see him out there just topping the charts, topping the US box office, and just doing amazing. And this is just one thing I want people to hold on to, that it's that competitive mindset. Some people don't like competition. Some people are just like, you know what, whatever they give me, that's fine. But I think competition brings out the best in you. It's just something about, you know what, it's two of us and it's one prize. And it's either I get the prize or this next counterpart gets the prize. And it makes you just want to push. I don't know if you've gone through this. I believe you've gone through it in track. When you're running, like if it could be like 100 meter, and there's someone beside you, and you're running, and the person is like maybe like 4 inches ahead of you, and you're like, you know what, I have to beat this person. And at that moment, you don't think about any other thing. You just think about the 4 inches. You think about beating this person and crossing the finish line beside the person. At that very moment, that's all that matters to you.
Yeah.
It's just the competition. And I think at that moment, you bring in something that's just not usual in you. You have to bring in that, because winning is winning. This is one of my favorite quotes from Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. He said, winning is winning. Whether it's an inch or a mile, winning is winning. So that's what competition brings out. And that's what makes winning valuable, because you want something. It makes the journey worthwhile to you. You know, so I really admire, I love people that are naturally competitive. If there's one thing I want to create, it's just a space for healthy competition where people could compete for something and win something. And just because every time I see people compete, I just see people that will usually just sit down, just do something extra, you know. And there's a saying that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the word extra. The extra thing that you put into what every other regular people, you know, are doing.